Hello everyone, and welcome to your NARSA weekly update for the week commencing Monday the 23rd of February 2026. It's Gary here again. Thank you very much as always for taking the time to join me this week. And obviously could be better. It's one of these, when you look at, that's essentially the month done, the month of February 2026 done for the club, and it certainly wasn't the kindest month to us. We had 5 games, 2 wins and 3 draws, and this will shock you. You might want to sit down for this part. The 3 draws that we had were away from home. So that was Hibs, Motherwell, and then yesterday's draw against Livingston. And that just doesn't bode well. That feels like an old pattern, an old movie that we've seen, an old play that's on repeat sort of thing. And it's just not good enough. I mean, literally and figuratively, it's not good enough for us to mount a serious charge. And here's the thing for me is, a wee while back, Danny Rule had said, this is a league title race that's going to go down to the wire. It's going to go down to the last day. And then yesterday in the post-match press conference, he said something along the lines of, I firmly believe it's going to go to the last game. Like specifically, explicitly, he mentioned the last game. Now, I'm a leadership coach, I'm a speaker, I'm a writer, I do a bunch of things in the self-development, self-education space. And what I can tell you is, if you say something often enough, that thing has a better chance of happening. So especially from a positive perspective, but also from a negative perspective, if you think something isn't going to work out for you and you just worry yourself into non-performance, and he's been doing that for a wee while. So if he's manifesting into the team to say it's going to go to the wire, it's going to go to the wire, it's going to go to the wire, if those 3 draws had been 3 victories, we'd be ahead in the table right now with a clear line of sight towards the championship, but we're not. So I'm not saying this is his exact fault for that happening. These things happen. It's all wee mini things that happen that ends up compounding into what we get, and what we get is 6 points dropped away from home. We're 4 points behind in the table. We'd be 2 points ahead. I mean, it's a simple mathematics there. So what I'd like, and I'm sure Danny Rule is an avid subscriber to this channel, and what I want, Danny, is to stop saying that, is to say win every single game. I said last week, is it feasible that we would win 11 games? And then I kind of said, I don't know. And the obvious answer is no, because we've got 10 games left now. And of the 10 games, it's going to be 5 home and 5 away. So by pure mathematics, we're going to get 20 points. We're going to get 15 at home and we're going to get 5 away. So we're going to get 20 points. Is 20 points enough to win the championship? I don't know. What is it? We're 2 points ahead of that mob and 4 points behind them. So if we get 20 points, that would mean we were 4 points ahead of Hearts. Are they going to drop that amount of points during that time? Who knows is the short answer to that. But you can start to do that mathematical gymnastic, sort of thing, and see what happens from there. And based on February, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good in our ability. And by the way, yesterday aside, I'll get to the game segment in a wee second here. Yesterday aside, we didn't get any more than we deserved from Hibs and Motherwell. And in terms of the overall play, in terms of the overall, the way that the game played out, how well we played in the game yesterday, we'll see a wee bit more about that. So is 20 points enough to get us the league? I don't think it is. And that means that we need to start winning away from home, and we need to start winning away from home very, very, very quickly. We don't get a chance to do that for a couple of weeks yet, but a few weeks yet, I guess it probably is now. But it's one of these things. I mean, it's pretty obvious, isn't it, where the challenges lie. So, as I've said before, basically on my outro and my thanks, every single game is a genuine cup final, like a must win. If we win every single game starting with this weekend, where we get momentum, everybody starts to believe, and not just inside the club, outside the club as well, based on our two major rivals, and start to make them think again as well. I'm a kind of excitable sort of guy, so I'm hoping, I'm really genuinely believing we could put a run together that's really going to put us in the mix and have us not lament too much towards the end of the season, and hopefully it's going to end up with us lifting the SPFL trophy and taking, hopefully taking that Champions League spot as we go. We've got a great opportunity to really shape the season the next 2 weekends here, folks. We've got 2 Old Firm games, one in the league, one in the semi-final of the Scottish Cup, is it? And No, actually, I guess that'll be the quarterfinal of the Scottish Cup. Sorry, and we've got an opportunity to really put ourselves in a great position for silverware, one piece of silverware at least towards the end of the season, and hopefully set us up for two there. So yeah, that's a big chance for us. I did want to mention at the very beginning here, it's been a week where racist abuse has come to the fore again. If anybody's seen the scenes at the Real Madrid Benfica game and the subsequent fallout from that, where the Argentinian player allegedly racially abused Vinicius Junior. I keep getting his name wrong all the time, but the guy from Real Madrid, I think I say it literally wrong, or I say it different every single time. But anyway, whatever was said, you don't pull your jersey up to pay a compliment to someone. He subsequently apparently came out and said, it was actually homophobic, it wasn't racist. That's actually not all right either, you clown of a guy. In a week, or a couple of weeks actually, where Rangers are winning awards in the inclusivity space, it's just not on. And then yesterday after the Livingston game, you've got both Manny Fernandez and Gassama subject to online racial abuse, which they've reported, and it's going through the appropriate channels. I don't understand it. That's where social media is literally genuinely anti-social media. It's just pathetic that people can hide behind a keyboard of some description and just say what they think they want, or what they feel is okay for them to say to anyone. You would never say that to their face. Literally, if you were face to face with someone, it's beyond a joke. It's pathetic, and it's Neanderthals just acting like Neanderthals, and I don't get it. So good for them for reporting it. Hopefully the club really follows through on that. It would be great if the club were so active when it came to dodgy refereeing decisions, and we'll get to that when we get to the game here. I think you know what I'm talking about. But also, today is quite exciting because I get to finalise the lineup for VIP guests with a 9-in-a-row legend announcement, a VIP announcement here, folks. Yes, you have it here and exclusive first. And I will get to that when I get to the what do you call it? The convention. Oh, I'm not allowed to call it convention. When I get to NARSA 2026 section here in a wee bit. So the game, obviously, we just had the one game last week. It was a 2-2 draw to the bottom side, Livingston. A game that we should be winning. Livingston haven't won a game since August in the league, anywhere in the league, and since August, and they almost beat us yesterday. And it was just one of the things I think I mentioned it last week, or maybe it was a week before, I can't remember, but I had said that, like, the game in and of itself, the atmosphere, the feel for the game, the energy that we as supporters would bring to the game starts when we see the team line up, or when we start to get wind of what the team lineup could look like. And sometimes he puts a team lineup out there and you're kind of like, what the hell is that? Man, like, how's that supposed to win the game? A la Motherwell a few weeks back there, a couple of weeks back, or was it Hibs? Either or, maybe both. But then there's other times when you can get delighted by the team. And I was very pleased. It was a strong team that we put out. It was a team that was obviously intended to win that game. Dujon Sterling was, I think, the main missing person, or main missing party there, but he's in and out like a yo-yo of the team. They have to manage his minutes as best as can. He just isn't built for 2 or 3 games in a week here. We got off to a great start. You got a brilliant ball in. You've got Romans hitting the header. Brilliant save by the goalie onto the post. Couldn't find an opportunity to put it in there. And then, so here's the thing about the set pieces I started to think about yesterday. We've been lauding the new set piece guy for some of the invention. That chance for that goal came from a different type of style of set piece, a short-ish corner where the ball comes out and then the ball gets put in, and that's it. We then lose a free kick outside the box, and then we get the ball, a really good ball in, actually, right beyond our back line, and the finish was an absolute worldie. It was a brilliant finish from the guy. But from a set piece perspective, I had the thinking here where the set piece was, as soon as we get a set piece, or as soon as we have a set piece against us, this is where this guy comes into the fore. This is where he comes into his own, where he's able to really help us figure out what that looks like and manage and manifest through that. What I'm actually starting to think about now is it's bigger, it's wider than that. And maybe I'm saying something that's absolutely obvious to you. I don't mean to do that. But we're giving away completely stupid free kicks all over danger areas. Basically anywhere inside our half is a danger area with the way that guys can float balls in these days. So when you've got the likes of Suter, or Suter was a kind of main culprit, but maybe even Tav at times, or anyone who's just putting in stupid fouls, I understand there's the right type and time of foul that has to happen in a game where you go, you know what, take the yellow card. It's one of these things. It's a good foul. But other times it's not. Other times it's just lazy. Other times you're shirking your responsibilities a wee bit by just bundling the guy down, and then the free kick comes in, and then we have the what would you say, the second phase of the free kick to worry about, and that's what happened. The guy, brilliant finish to get 1-0, and you're thinking, come on, man. Like, I just don't absolutely understand that at all. And we had plenty of chances with this big goal line stramage. It was like literally playground stuff, and run about just before half time, wasn't it, like 40 minutes or so, something like that, where it just seemed to end up being a bit of a theme. We just couldn't get that killer touch to get the ball in the back of the net. And of course, we're playing against a goalie who is inspired. And that doesn't happen very often to us. Many times we're talking and lamenting about creating so many chances and our finishing being very, very poor. You can argue some of the finishing was poor yesterday, but it was more down to the goalie making some really good saves. Saves you would expect him to make, but still had to make them. And some of these lesser quality goalies don't. And he did, this guy. So we then go 2-0 down with a complete switch off. The guys get time on the edge of the box to pass it over at the guy on the left-hand side. Don't know where our right-hand side of our defence is. And then the guy gets the ball, gets time to control it, and then time to put it past basically, what was it, a lunging Tav, and maybe Fernandez was there as well, I can't remember. And then through Butland. And it just pathetic. If you're going to work for your goal, fair enough. And maybe that first finish is one of these things a guy will try it another 10 times and maybe hit the target once, but he won't score. But that defending, it's just, it's criminal. It really is. And then things are looking bleak, and we're in a situation where they get a straight red for a professional foul. For one of the first times, the only decent thing Gassama did in the game. I think when he came on and had such an impact against Hearts last week, he probably deserved an opportunity to get a run out there. And I don't know what it is with this guy. I'm getting worried about him, the kind of huffy-puffy way that he would go off when he gets substituted. He didn't actually do that yesterday, fair play to him, but he didn't have a good game. Didn't have a good game at all. I don't know if he's fed up getting booted. I don't know if he's got a wee bit of something going on. I don't know if he's carrying an injury. I don't know if if his confidence is taking a wee bit of a hit or whatever it is, but we're not getting anywhere near the output from this guy right now, and that is a worry when we need every single thing going on. They get the straight red card. So my immediate worry is, here we go. I mean, look what happened against Motherwell. We couldn't see the game out with 10 men there. I could see Livingston scoring again. That's the way I was feeling, because the game's going all over the place here, of course. And then we did do relatively well against 10. It took us a wee while just to kind of get going, and then we just kept battering. Danny Rule made some impactful substitutions there. Fernandez hits a bullet shot to get to 2-1, which is great. Then you get Mikey Moore with an absolutely brilliant header to make it 2-2. Tons of time left. We could still get 10 minutes left of play, including the extra time. In fact, probably more than 10 minutes the way it worked out with all the whole VAR debacle. And then you've got that passage of play where Moore is fouled. The only thing that's up for debate is whether it was inside or outside the box, not whether it was a foul. And VAR I haven't seen the actual official thing, but the information I received at VAR said, well, it was a foul, but it was outside the box, and it wasn't really a goal scoring position, so you can't re-referee the game in that respect. So that's it. I don't think it was outside the box. I think the actual foul, there was a nick first, and then the actual foul itself second on the line. So it should have been, what Danny Rule said, it should have either been outside the box, a foul and a red card, or a penalty and a yellow card. He knows the rules better than I do. So what is it? The referee? So then you go back to the VAR, fluff it. They fluff their lines, and they just basically just put custard pies in each other's faces, and then nothing happens. We wait a long time. The ref's like, cool. What the referee did is the referee shirked his responsibility. The referee said, I've already sent one of their guys off. If I give a penalty and another red card in the last minute here, I'm going to let my pals do it in the VAR room. And the VAR room guys are like, we don't want that in our conscience. And then they just left it alone. And then Danny Rule comes out and says afterwards, yes, I mean, it's obvious the referee got it wrong. That's where Rangers need to go after that. They need to look upon referee mistakes the same way as racial slurs, the same as homophobic slurs, the same as any sort of inclusivity, because these referees are not being inclusive in terms of their refereeing standards against Rangers. And I don't mean to to say that it's the same type and style of offence or anything like that. I'm not trying to cause any offence to anybody here. It's not the point. The point I'm making is the club go after certain things with vigour and rigour, and other things they're just kind of like, what they should do, and I just said this to a couple of guys earlier today in a group chat, was they should come out and they should say the referee was dead wrong. Absolutely dead wrong. You're going to have to ask him what he thought he saw. The referee was so close to that, so close to it. And then for him to just shirk it, for VAR to make a complete mess of it, and for them to just carry on and say nothing to see here, absolutely pathetic. Rangers should be going after that. It's what's going to beat us is our lack of ability to take points, the proper amount of points away from home, and referee decisions. That's what's happening. Yesterday, that would have been a penalty. Who would have bet against Tav not scoring that penalty? I certainly wouldn't have. I'm not a betting man, but Tav would have put that away. That would have been 3-2, and we would have been saying it's about time that we did something spectacular towards the end of the games. Everyone else seems to be doing it, but we didn't get that opportunity, and then we didn't really muster another decent chance after that and saw the game out. So in terms of the positives, we got a point when it looked quite bleak that we weren't going to get a point. To come back from that amount of deficit so late in the game is not to be sniffed at, and we did create a ton of chances. I mean, it was just one of those games. It really was, and it just felt a wee bit worse because of who it was, where it was, when it is in the season, and what the implications are for us. We didn't stop. We actually kept going. I think we just lacked a wee bit of quality, a wee bit of leadership, a wee bit of calmness on the field is kind of where we really went wrong. There was nothing too wrong with the performance other than the score. And fair play to Danny Rule. When Russell Martin was in, I remember he would just shove people on, and we were like, what is this? What's this guy doing? Danny Rule seems to do it a wee bit more calculated, or he just gets a wee bit more luck when the subs came on. But the subs came on and made a difference for us, especially Bajrami. I thought he played really well when he came on, didn't stop, had a chance right in the very end of the game, which they called for offside. I don't think it would have been offside if he'd have actually connected with it. And it seems to be the defender just put him off at that last minute, didn't get the connection. And it could have been 3-2 right at the death there. Negatives, our defending is rank. Our terrible innocuous fouls that end up leading to goals is terrible. We're not ruthless enough in defence. We don't defend our goal like our life depended on it. We need ruthless defenders in there, and we don't have that. Simple as that. Guys that would put anything on the line to make sure that they keep a clean sheet or stop a chance from going in. And I'm going to give them a pass for the first goal, apart from the free kick. But the second goal, absolutely terrible. I don't get it. And here's the thing for me, from a negative perspective. As I mentioned earlier, we have a brilliant opportunity where Romans is the header from the short, the short interplay from the set piece, which was a corner kick. And that was the only time that I can remember in the game that we did that. Then every other time, ball lumped in. There's a time and a place to do that, and there's a time and a place to provide some variety, or to exact some variety. And yesterday was that time. Like, this part isn't working, so try and get this part, try and go and sneak a second ball, or do something else, or put a low ball in, or whatever, because it wasn't working up high. So our set piece coach did not have a good day yesterday. Other team didn't have a good execution on what the set piece coach asked them to do. In terms of stats say it all. 73% possession, 23 shots on goal with 14 on target, and we scored 2. That tells you they had 5 shots on goal with 3 on target. They scored 2. 66% for them, and I don't even know what it is for us. 10% for us, maybe something like that. Not even good enough. So on the referee watch, Ryan Lee, if this is the beginning of his referee journey here, and I hope someone sends this to Ryan, if this is the beginning of your referee journey, pick another profession, mate, because this is not going to work for you. You had an opportunity to do the right thing yesterday, and you couldn't take it. And in some way, it's either been ingrained in you, because if you never seen that foul from 5 or 10 feet away, then you shouldn't be refereeing in and of the first place. And if you aren't even, what's the rules here? Can you not override VAR and say, I want to go and take a look at this because I think I thought what I saw, but everybody's telling me something different, or something like that. I don't know what that rule is, so he gets a wee bit of a pass for that. But when you had an opportunity to do the right thing, you didn't take it. So, like, I'm a career coach, I'm a life coach, I'm a leadership coach. I'll give you one coaching session for free, Ryan, so that you can pick another profession, because refereeing is not for you. And just because I feel like I'm not quite as devastated as I would have been had we gotten beat yesterday, you're going to get a 2 out of 10 for that one decision. Now, Danny Rule, one of the main reasons you're getting a 2 out of 10 is that Danny Rule did say we had 100 minutes to score more than 2 goals. and we had enough chances to score more than 2 goals, and we didn't. So yes, the referee's faux pas, the referee's abomination at the end is material to us getting the 3 points, but we had more than enough to do it. But you cost us a game and possibly cost us a championship because of that result. So pick another profession. I hope I never see you refereeing again because you're rank rotten at your job. In terms of games, is that clear? Yeah, I hope it is. In terms of next game, of course, that's the league game against that mob on Sunday, the 1st of March here coming up. It's a 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time kickoff. That's noon in the UK. We have an opportunity to really put, I mean, they've been, it's not infeasible that they could afford defeats in a row, the way that it works out. The heavy defeat at home to Stuttgart, defeat at home to Hibs. They could go get beaten Stuttgart again this week, and then we could put them to the sword. Can you imagine the meltdown there? Can you imagine the fences and the riots that could go on? The thing is, they're so thick, they don't even realise that they're still very much in the race. So if we put them to the sword, which I'm very confident they will do on Sunday, then that gives us a real bit of daylight between us and them. It's back in our control there because they've got the game in hand. They can go ahead of us by a point, and it really just puts it into a bit of a 2-horse race for the next wee while anyway, and see what happens from there. In terms of shout-outs, not a lot for this week, but I did want to provide a shout-out. This is a North American Rangers Supporters Association. I'm in Canada, and I would like to just extend congratulations to the American men and women's ice hockey teams who both secured gold against Canada in their respective games. I think both games went to overtime, as they call it here, extra time, like the normal people call it, and they both won it with essentially the golden goal. And exciting games to see. And what was really exciting in Canada anyway was all the pubs had early bar licenses. So we actually got kicked out of Pin Bar yesterday because they were like, we've got 80 or 90 people coming here to watch the game. It was a 6:10 a.m. kickoff here, and the game would have just interfered with the Livingston game, and it was going to be too much logistics and such. That happens there, giving us the grace of their presence, of their premises, I should say. So, there's not a lot of complaint there, and especially with the way the game worked out. So that's one of these things. But congratulations to them. The Winter Olympics is now done. It was a lot of fun seeing that sort of stuff, both live and with the replay shows at night. I love it when there's good sports on and such like that. So that was a thing. And just another shout out for Amanda and Jason Junior Ross, who are running the London Marathon on behalf of the Royal British Legion this coming April, I believe it is. I'll leave the link there in the show notes for that. For the convention, it's 107 days. Next week is 100, oh my word, and 15 weeks until Nashville 2026. That's June the 11th to the 14th. And it's at the Cambria Midtown Hotel in Nashville. And we are actually going, myself and Alan McWatt, the NARSA president, and his family, and Brian Campbell and his lovely wife Gaynor are all heading down. And the Careys, Andy and Debbie, are carrying down. They're carrying down to Nashville. They are coming down with us, and my love Erin and I are going down. And it's a belated birthday present for Erin as well. This birthday just never ends, folks, man, oh man. And we're heading down there. We're going to actually stay at the hotel. We're going to get an opportunity to meet with the hotel staff, do a walkthrough and things like that. We're going to go and see Nathan Evans and the St. Phoenix Band on Thursday night, and hopefully get a chance to meet the guys in person there and do a bit of a recce basically of the area, how far it is to various places. Might sample a couple of establishments when we're down there and have a good time. So the ironic thing is, when we booked it, I don't know if I mentioned this before or not, but when we booked it, I was chatting with my sister Debbie, and I says, I don't know about that weekend because that's Old Firm weekend. And this was back in September, October. I says, you know what? It's completely academic by that point. They will be 27 points ahead. We will be in some sort of mire. This is in the Russell Martin days. And we says, we'll just book it and we'll just watch the game in the hotel, and it saves us any hassle. Yeah. Oh, dearie me. So one of these things, we are going to watch it in the hotel and have a good time, maybe even have a couple of beers first thing in the morning. That's the day we're travelling back. So we're going to be there, and I'll have more information to share about that on Monday as we come back. You probably heard that noise from my computer. I did some work on Google Chrome earlier, and that thing keeps happening now. So I need to try and figure out exactly what that noise is and give myself a chance to make sure it doesn't happen again. So I'll figure that part out. But on to the announcement, and I am absolutely delighted to announce Derek Ferguson. Yes, the Derek Ferguson is going to be joining us at Nashville 2026, and we could not be happier if we tried. He's one of the most naturally gifted midfielders to come through the Rangers youth system. I remember when Graham Souness took over, and it was chronicled quite a lot at the time, where he had said he just couldn't believe his luck that to have both Derek Ferguson and Ian Durrant, there for him, having come through the ranks at Rangers, and just absolutely thrilled to have this dynamic midfield already in place. Joined the club 1982, made his first team appearance at 15 in Tom Forsyth's testimonial, before becoming the youngest post-war Ranger to make a competitive debut at only 16. He went on to play 148 games for Rangers, scoring 8 goals, and was man of the match in the 1986 League Cup final win over that mob. He played a key part in the 1986-87 title success under Graham Souness, helping deliver Rangers' first league championship in nearly a decade. And he was also part of the first and second years of 9 in a row. So we have a real 9 in a row theme going on for our VIP guests. Sometimes it works like that. Sometimes it's a wee bit of a fluke. I'll let you decide what this one is, but part of the 9 in a row era as well, before moving on to Hearts for £750,000, which is a lot of money back in the day there in 1990. He later played for Sunderland, Falkirk and Dunfermline and several others. And he also earned 2 Scotland caps. And today he is very well known as one of Scotland's sharpest football and most entertaining voices, thanks to his long-running punditry role with BBC Radio Scotland Sports Sound and other bits and pieces in the media as well. So he is absolutely buzzing to come along. We have a group chat with him. He's already sending funnies here and there and things like that. He's been a joy to deal with and get ourselves organised. So you'll see some collateral come out from that. We're going to get David Edgar to do some video interview with him and get him on there, and we'll get that out on our socials over the next wee while. So that concludes our VIPs. We have, just as a reminder, we have Derek Ferguson, we have Scott Nisbet, we have Davy Robertson, and we have Mark Walters from the 9 in a row era. In entertainment, we have Stuart Hay, who just did a successful Journey Back show at the Sydney Opera House, no less, last week. And we also have David Edgar, of course, our MC there, and DJ Angry Bear to give us all the tunes that we are looking for. So this is really, really shaping up now, folks. I cannot wait. Absolutely cannot wait. And of course, we do have the Davy Cooper Memorial Top Golf tournament going on, and you can go to the NARSA website and see all the information there about booking that. If you're not a golfer, it's a great time to go there and just get a wee bit of fun and have a couple of drinks and a bite of food and just get a chance to bond with other people and have a bit of a laugh on the Friday morning. And if you've got any questions about that, you can email narsagolf@gmail.com or just go straight to the website and book it. $100 flat per person. That includes your golf, includes transportation to and from, includes finger food and soft drinks as well. This past week, in other NARSA news, this past week we also had the meetings that I mentioned last week, Alan McWatt and Gary Fleming. They actually had 4 back-to-back rapid meetings. When they said they had 4, I thought it was spread over the week. So good for them. That's a lot of work these guys are putting in. And as I said last week, good for them for actually prioritising the membership and really putting them first to get a voice there. There's another one set up for next week, not this week, but next week as well. Alan was just telling me that before I started recording today. So that's great news. We'll hear what information comes out from there. And you're going to start to see a wee bit more focus and attention on our communications and our marketing over the next wee while for the event. We need a lot of people to come along to this event, and we're hoping that the team success that's sure to come is going to give us that opportunity to see it in Nashville. It's one of these, for me, it's one of these bucket list places. I've never been. It's quite a clunky place to get to from Calgary, to be perfectly honest. So if it wasn't for NARSA going down there, I probably would maybe have went in passing if I had an opportunity to do so, but not a place that I would go if Rangers weren't going to be in some way present there. So really looking forward to this week. Really not looking forward to how I'm going to be feeling next Monday as I record this for you. But look at the fresh face that I've got this week, and then just remember that when you see the face that's on there for next week, and we'll take it from there. So yeah. One wee thing I actually did forget to mention last week was that we did send out, so in lieu of having a winter meeting, because we would put this meeting together, we would get all the financials together, everyone's director reports and such. We'd sit in the meeting and there wouldn't be a quorum from the membership. So we then agreed at the AGM last year that we would substitute the winter meeting with a semi-annual report that was sent out to clubs. They're supposed to distribute to every single member in their club. So if they have not done that already, please hit up your president and your secretary or your secretary and get them to forward you that information. That's very important. It was a lot of effort to put it together, and you've got the information there that you need to tide you over till the AGM. So we'll get that organised for you. In terms of communication, the Gers guide was there. Today there is no away days. They never do an away days when we don't win. So today is what was the blackout interview, or the media blackout interview that Manny Fernandez did, that it doesn't get released till the next day. I don't understand why they do that. There must be clicks or some sort of media thing going on there. But Manny Fernandez, he speaks well, and I heard what he said. I didn't actually see the interview yet, and he talks very candidly about where things are at and such. So that's there. In the Rangers women's team highlights, they managed to beat Montrose 2-0 yesterday to go second in the league after that mob smashed Hearts. What was it, 5-3 or something like that? Ended up being something like that. So now second on goal difference, and 5 points behind Glasgow City. They're now going to the international break, and then after that, their split has happened now, where the top 5 teams play each other home and away. So they play each other twice. So still lots of twists and turns to come there. I'm hopeful for the men's and the women's teams double for championships. That would be great. Tomorrow, the loan review, the regular loan review, and there's an under-19s Old Firm game tomorrow in the Glasgow Cup group stage as well. I typically don't mention the youth football, but it's an Old Firm game, so I'll mention that one. Wednesday, there is all the goals for Daniel Candeas and the women's international preview. On Thursday, there's this new feature they have now for Rangers TV Studios, which is called Game Changers, and there's 2 features coming out on Thursday. One is Sensational Substitutes, and I think this one features Eric Bo Anderson, and there's another one that is called Mendes Magic, which I'm sure is going to chronicle the Old Firm goal at Shark Head many years ago. On Friday is the press conference for the game against that mob, and there's also an interview with Leanne Crichton to probably chronicle the season thus far and what she's hoping for the remainder of the season. And then Sunday is us versus them at noon UK time. And yeah, that's it. In terms of Instagram, I do want to mention once again, if you go to Instagram and search NARSA Comms, you will find us there. And it's the exact same handle if you look for us on TikTok. I was mentioned last week that we need some help on the TikTok space. I am delighted to say that we have a volunteer to help us on the TikTok space, and we're going to organise a session just to talk about what that will mean and what type and style of content we're looking to put out there, and give ourselves the best opportunity to start from a strong position. And we will hopefully get that meeting organised, if not this week, next week. But if you go to TikTok, if you're a TikToker, then you can search NARSA Comms. That's NARSA COMMS. That's both Instagram and TikTok. You can follow us there. We'll follow you back, and then we'll hopefully get some decent numbers there and get some good content to you. That's the whole point of that. As always, please do like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That really helps us know the reach that we are getting, and then we will get that organised and figure things out. After this trip this week, I'm going to try and get each of the VIPs onto, including the entertainment, onto the podcast as well. We'll get that organised over the next week. Well, this beginning to 2026 has been an absolute whirlwind for me, so I haven't managed to sit down and do as much as I would hope to on the NARSA front. Okay, my friends, that will do it for this week. Thank you very, very much, as always, for taking the time to tune in. Please do share it with someone that you think might enjoy it. And until next week, we know what has to happen. On Sunday, a draw or a defeat is absolutely unthinkable. That's not what we're looking for. We need to turn that up like we did against Hearts, cut out the mistakes that we had against Hearts, and then give them a battering and just put them in their corner and really give ourselves an opportunity to get Hearts in our side and get back to the top of the table. It seems I can't even remember the last time we were at the top of the table, so let's get ourselves closer to that this weekend, Rangers. There's no other result that we need, that we want, that we desire, that we demand. So until next week, please do take care of yourself, okay? Follow.